All right, if you're in IT, you know this feeling all too well. That frustrating ticket, those wasted hours, and that one problem that just seems to go in circles. Well, today, we're going to break that cycle for good. Let's dive in. You know, it always starts with these three little words. They just land in your ticket queue, or maybe you hear them muttered in the hallway. Citrix is slow. No details, no context, just this vague, heavy feeling that your day is about to get a whole lot more complicated. It's pretty much the start of every admin's headache. And what do? What's our first instinct? We jump right into action. We open up our monitoring tools and we start checking all the usual suspects, right? CPU, memory, disk I/O. We're hunting for a performance bottleneck because, well, we've been trained to think that slow always means performance. But here's the crucial turning point. What if the problem isn't a performance issue at all? What if it's actually a login problem that's just disguised as one? The truth is, so many of the issues we chase for hours are hiding in plain sight, happening way before the real work even begins. So this gets us to the single most important idea in Citrix troubleshooting. Seriously, understanding the fundamental difference between a login problem and a performance problem. That is the key. Once you can see this distinction, all the chaos starts to make sense. Okay, so check this out. It's actually super simple when you lay it out like this. A login problem, that happens before the desktop ever appears. The user is just sitting there waiting. But once they're in, the session feels totally fast. A performance problem is the complete opposite. The login is quick, no problem there, but the actual work, clicking around, typing, running apps, that's what's slow and laggy. It all comes down to when the slowness is happening. And here's why that timing matters so much. Because these are two completely different kinds of problems. They're caused by completely different things. You can't fix a login issue by staring at performance metrics, and you definitely can't fix a performance issue by tweaking login scripts. They're separate worlds. So when a login is slow, the real culprit is almost always something in this list. I mean, think about it. The system is literally building the user's entire environment from scratch. It's loading a huge profile. It's applying dozens of policies. It's running scripts. None of this has anything to do with the server's CPU load after the session is already active. Now, let's flip that around and look at the performance side. This is where things like high CPU, memory leaks, and poorly coded applications come into play. These are the problems that happen after the user is already in and trying to get work done. This is the stuff our monitoring tools are actually built to find. And this, right here, this is the trap. This is the biggest mistake so many of us fall into. A user reports a slow login. We immediately check the server's CPU and memory, see that they look totally fine, and we go back to the user and say, everything looks good on our end. We've just investigated the wrong category of problem entirely, and now everyone's frustrated. But what if you could just cut through all of that noise? What if there was one simple tool, not a piece of software, but a single question that could instantly put you on the right path? Well, guess what? There is. This is it. This is the golden question that can probably solve half of your Citrix tickets. You should memorize it. Use it every single time. Is the slowness happening before the desktop opens or after? The user's answer immediately tells you whether you should be looking at login causes or performance causes. You see how this just completely flips the script on your whole mindset? Effective troubleshooting isn't about having the fanciest tools. It's about having clarity. It's about taking a second to pause, to think, and to understand the when before you ever jump into the how or the why. And, embracing this approach doesn't just solve tickets faster. It actually changes how people see you. It elevates you from someone who just reacts to problems to someone who diagnoses them with real precision. It's the difference between being a technician and being an architect. Just imagine, you're in a job interview. The hiring manager asks, a user says Citrix is slow. What do you do? The average admin is going to say, I check CPU and memory. But you're going to say, well, first I determine if it's a login issue or a performance issue. That one sentence shows you understand the entire process, not just the metrics. It shows you think strategically. So let's put it all together. Here's your new mental checklist, your new workflow. First, when, before or after the desktop. Second, who? Is it just one person or a whole group? And third, what? What changed recently? These three simple questions will guide you to the root cause way more effectively than any performance graph ever could. And honestly, this is the real payoff. When you start using this clear, structured approach, that feeling of chaos just disappears. Citrix stops being this unpredictable black box. It becomes a system with rules, a system you can actually understand, predict, and control. It brings a sense of calm and confidence to your work that is just invaluable. So, as we wrap this up, if you take just one thing away from our time together, please let it be this. It's simple. Stop guessing, start diagnosing. The difference between a login and a performance problem isn't just some tiny technical detail, it's a fundamental principle of troubleshooting effectively. And finally, let's just zoom out for a second. This way of thinking, it's not limited to Citrix, is it? In your work, in your life, how many problems feel complicated just because we haven't asked the right first question? What chaos could you turn into clarity simply by pausing to diagnose before you rush to solve? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for watching this video. My name is Naresh. I am the content creator behind this YouTube channel. I have created a community for Citrix learners where I will be posting a lot of details on Citrix products and how to work in Citrix environments. I'm going to mention the link in the video description so you can click on that link and you can become part of the community. All right, see you soon. Bye bye.